I'm Lou Scott, and this is the Geppetto Room, where you don't have to be creative to be creative. You just have to be you. Because here, we're going to explore techniques and various methodologies that will help you make better decisions, transformative decisions, and to help you work through the way you work, the way you play, the way you live in our state. Now, I don't know about you, but I think COVID, vaccines or no vaccines, COVID, and all the things that we have to do to mitigate it are going to be around for a while. Things like face masks and distancing and washing our hands, they're not going away. Now, because this show is about ideas, I want to introduce another mitigating activity that might help you. It might help you ward off this virus, certainly the symptomatic virus of COVID, to ward it off. And I want to share this with you now. What I'm going to introduce to you is the ways, some concepts of trying to make to strengthen our immune system. The immune system, the system that is so effective against infections and inflammation. Now, let me explain. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any relevant medical information or education. But what I did is I've done a lot of research. And I'm going to try to share with you what I think is the common consensus of the medical community to strengthen your immune system. Now, one of the things I found in the research, I don't know whether you have ever research that I did, is that the people who were involved in immunology and all the medical professionals that do all the things that for viruses and so forth, you got to give them credit because it's a very complicated subject. For a matter of complicated is saying it easily. Now, on the one hand, they have to be experts in nutrition, actually experts in the food we eat, because the food we eat has a major impact on the strength of our immune system, the system that wards off infection. They have to be dietitians. They have to understand foods. Then they have to be somewhat understanding of gastroenterology, because what the gut has, what we have in our systems, the viruses, the bacteria, the good and bad bacteria, they have to understand how that works, because that too has a paramount impact on strengthening our immune system. And then from that point on, they have to be great diagnosticians, because what do we look at when we look at the parameters to diagnose a weakened immune system? They look for a high level of stress. They look for lots of colds. They look for always being tired and a lot of belly problems. Now, the problem with those parameters, okay, is that they could be the parameters, the diagnostic indicators for many diseases. So the person who's involved with immunology has to be really an expert and diagnostician. Okay. Now, this is all then exaggerated by something else. But before we get involved in that, let me tell you, well, let's talk about, as my research carried on, I found that what is the immune system? What does it do for us? Well, we can say simply, well, it wards off infection, but listen to what it really does for us. It decreases inflammation and infection. Actually, it decreases that. Inflammation is a precursor of infections and sicknesses. It stimulates cell rejuvenation. It actually rejuvenates the cells in our whole body. It prevents cell destruction. And finally, it actually creates and stimulates new blood vessels. So in reality, it not only strengthens our immune system, but it affects our whole life. It affects our living, our well-being. Now, as I went on in the investigation, I found that I was looking for some commonalities, some things that doctors, a consensus of thought, that doctors were recommending that we carry out in order to strengthen our immune systems. What I found that there were 9 steps. Well, actually, they're not steps in fact, but they're goals. And you have heard about these goals. We've been hearing about them mostly all our lives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through those goals, and I've come up with some ideas, maybe that you haven't thought about, that can help you achieve those goals. And what you'll be doing is you'll be strengthening your immune system, you'll be combating the ability to not get COVID, and you'll have a better well-being. Let's go over the goals. Now, these are the goals. They're well said. You've heard them many, many times. Don't smoke. Eat more fruits. Watch your weight. Get better sleep. Avoid infection. Exercise. Moderate drinking. Fasting and avoiding stress. Now, we all heard those things. Those are things that are standard in medical. That's how you have the well-being. And they're also conducive, as I said, to strengthening your immune system. Now, obviously, many of them are easier said than done, and I know that's how you feel. Okay, wait, now. As I said, what I want to do now is go over each one of them one at a time and talk about a couple of ideas, each one of those, that make it easier for you, more transformative for you, to make decisions to achieve those goals. Because those goals are going to keep you well and ward off any complications that you might get from COVID. Let's go over them one at a time. Don't smoke. Obviously, there are many, many methodologies, hypnosis, pills, all kinds of things about smoking. Smoking is very difficult. Smoking, when you're addicted to smoking, it's almost as being addicted to a drug, and it is a drug. Nicotine is a drug. What can you do about it? Here's some ideas you might have not tried. Learn to meditate. There are many resources, there are many books. You can do it online, you can do it with Google. Learn a methodology of meditating, because when you fall back on your meditation, when you go into your meditative state, it has a tendency to ward off the craving for smoke. A second thing is, and a very simple thing, but don't buy it. Don't buy them. Okay, now I know that's difficult, okay? But the meditation, try the meditation, and try when you go looking for cigarettes and so forth that you smoke, don't buy so many. Second one, eat more fruits. I find this difficult. I find I'm not going to walk around with fruits and bananas and apples. I'm just not going to do it. So what I do is I make a fruit drink. And you can make it with vegetables too in the mornings. With milk, I add fruit, the various fruits I have, bananas, apples, whatever the case might be. And I add some yogurt, and I drink that. Now, it's controversial. These kind of fusions of drinks are controversial. Some nutritionists say, well, when you do that, you break down the fiber of the vegetables or the fruits, and then you do away with the vitamins and the minerals when you break down the fiber. You also release more sugars. That's their opinion. It is controversial. For me, it works. Try it yourself. Make the drink, make it out of fruit and so forth. I feel that I start the day with at least some minimum part of eating more fruit, because the more fruit you eat, again, it is conducive to strengthening your immune system. Watch your weight. Very difficult. Okay, very difficult. There are many diets, there are many pills, anything like that. Here's some things that, one idea that I had that showed up in the medical research that I did. What I suggest is contact your nutritionist or whoever your health provider is and talk about foods that you can eat that are filling but not necessarily contain so many calories. Such a food is olive oil. Simple. There are many, many foods like that. Many, many things you can do that you can eat. You can be filled, and yet not intake all the calories, and you'll make a contribution to losing your weight. And when you lose your weight, you're strengthening your immune system. And when you strengthen your immune system, it's another step forward in not contacting the symptomatic parts of COVID-19. Get better sleep. All kinds of ideas about getting better sleep. However, 3 ideas come out very loud and clear, supported by a lot of research in the medical industry. These are the 3. Your bedroom should be completely dark, not even a clock light, no clock. And the bedroom is, secondly, the bedroom is made for 2 things, intimacy and sleep, nothing else. No television, no eating, no reading, no device, nothing like that. You condition the body that this is a place to sleep and to be intimate, period. All the other activities got to be done somewhere else. You'll sleep better. Avoid infection. Infection, the worst part of avoiding infection, not the worst part, the best part is your hands. Your hands are called fomites. Fomites. When you have bacteria on your hand, you have a tendency to transfer them to your own face, to your own body, and to other people. Doctors in hospitals wash their hands between patient contacts and wear gloves. So we have to be able to now. I find hand washing very difficult to do when I'm in my daily life. So what I've done is I've created a kit in which a COVID kit in which I carry extra masks and I carry sanitizer. If you don't have sanitizer, use Listerine because it's 65% alcohol. I found that to be very effective around when I'm touching something. I sanitize on a continual basis, much more convenient than actually trying to wash my hands. Exercise. Well, a lot of us don't go to gyms. A lot of us have never gone to gyms. A lot of us don't take long walks and so forth. We spend a lot of time in our houses, especially today. And I bought these bands, these stretch bands, and I used the stretch bands, which gave me the same burn, the same feeling I had when I was going to the gym. You can also think about Oriental arts like Tai Chi, which you can do right at home. But the last thing, it's an old science, but it's now getting more popular. It's called isometrics. Look it up. Get some information on it. It's actually the body using its own muscle against muscle to get an exercise. Isometrics. Give it a try. See if it works for you. Moderate drinking. Well, I know that as I got older, I started to drink more. And I drink white wine. So what I did was, what I'm doing now for COVID and for strengthening my immune system, I add orange juice, I add pineapple juice, I add grapefruit juice. I make a spritzer out of it. I found that it fills me up, and I'm drinking, but I'm not intaking so much of the alcohol, which is detrimental to your immune system. I also found that drinking seltzers, not hard seltzer, but flavored seltzers, actually the effervescence fills me up. When it fills me up like that, I drink less alcohol, and actually what I'm doing is I'm contributing to my health and the strength of my immune system. Fasting. Now let me warn you about fasting. Fasting must be done under the auspices of your medical provider. It can be dangerous, but the idea of periodically, monthly, every 2 months, fasting for 72 hours is a wonderful thing to do, because what fasting does is it changes the composition of your gut, the bacteria, the good bacteria, the bad bacteria. It changes that, and when it does change that, you're healthier. But again, do not try fasting without being under the auspices, supervision of a medical provider. Avoid stress. Well, stress is the precursor of all disease states. I'm telling you, whether you have diabetes, heart attacks, whatever what happens to you, the stress could be a contributing cause. 75% of that cause of that disease state. So it's difficult. You have to avoid stress. Now, how do you avoid stress? There are a lot of different ways of doing it, but I'm going to recommend two. One, use your meditation. Use the meditation that you have, okay? That you learn how to do. It helps. It relaxes you. It's supported by an immense number of medical studies. Try to do it, meditate. A second thing that you may not be thinking about is stay in the moment. This is what I mean. The mind is like monkeys. The mind, as soon as you tell the mind, be quiet, be calm, it starts to talk about problems. I have a flat tire, my kids might have my trouble, I have trouble with my wife, my girlfriend, whatever the case might be. It goes to problems, okay? So if you're doing something pleasant, but your mind is thinking about problems, you're adding stress to yourself. You're adding stress. What you have to do is enjoy the moment. For example, if you're washing in the morning, take your shower or bath, whatever case you do, but enjoy the stroking, enjoy the hot water, enjoy the moment. Don't think about the other things. You'll get to those problems. Don't destroy the perfection or the enjoyment of the thing that you're doing. Stay in that moment, whatever you're doing. And then as you go through these other problems, you'll solve them. Stay in the moment. When you stay in the moment and combine that with meditation, you will find yourself more relaxed and you'll be avoiding stress. And when you avoid stress, you are making a major contribution to not only your lifestyle, but to mitigating you getting COVID-19, which is dissolved. Now, I want to be able to just end with, if I can find it, I want to end with this idea of what actually I don't know if I can find it, what actually the final element of what immune system does for you. It not only strengthens, it does everything, it strengthens. It's an amazing thing, and you got to do it and put it into your strategy for COVID-19. Do these things. Maybe you have other ideas. Do them. Now here's a final one as I end here. It has been proven by a lot of medical cases, okay, by medical research, that when you do for others, whatever you do for others, whether you volunteer for organizations, whether you're kinder, whatever you do for others, you give back. It actually contributes to your own health. By giving, you are getting. In most cases, you're getting much more than you are giving. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But it really does. And these times when we're spending a lot of time in our houses and with this element of depression and so forth, depression and sadness and not being with our loved ones and not being able to do what we always used to do because of COVID, try to emphasize doing for others. Whatever that might be, simple things, big things, whatever you can do, because when you do, you strengthen your immune system. You actually add to your life, and your well-being. And it'll probably be conducive to less depression during this time of COVID. With that, I want to wish you, I'm Lou Scott, and this is the Geppetto Room, where you don't have to be creative to be creative, you just have to be you. Have a happy new year, have a healthy new year, have a safe new year. Until next time.